Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mios, and today I'm actually going to be trying to clarify a ruling that a lot of people, and when I say a lot, I mean pretty much the majority of the player base, are not sure of, and because of that, because of just the fact that you're not sure of something, might either make you cheat against someone or allow other players to cheat against you because, they're going to do something like this against you, and you're going to be like, yeah, makes sense, or you're going to make this illegal move and try to convince them even though you're not sure yourself because you don't really have any actual arguments. You're just saying, no, it works like that because I know how to read English and it should work like that. But no, trust me, there is a huge distinction, and what we're going to explore today is cards that pretty much can use their effects once per turn against, cards that only can be used once per turn because of their card name, which is very weird when I say it like this, but pretty much Mythical Beast Jackal King, what is it really? It's a card that says once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can negate and destroy, whereas there are other cards like Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, for example, that don't even start their effects with once per turn. It says you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, negate it, blah 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 blah. You can only use this effect of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss once per turn. What makes what makes a world of a difference here? Because there are seriously a lot of major, change differences in these two. Just I guess the way it's worded simply. So yeah, my opponent has a bunch of Jackal Kings. Of course, because of the fact that it says once per turn you can blah blah blah. It actually affects the physical card itself, and it is not treated as what we call a hard once per turn, but rather a soft once per turn, meaning that if you have multiple copies of Jackal King, you can trigger all of them over and over, each of them once. And also there is something else that I have to mention here. So I will start my turn with by using a monster effect like Danger Tsuchinoko, which is going to be negated by the middle Jackal King specifically. Now I'm going to go Mind Control, negate the middle Jackal King, which is obviously going to successfully resolve because my opponent has absolutely nothing to negate me. And now pretty much every Jackal King on the field gets 2 spell counters. I just want to remind you that these Jackal Kings never negated anything up until now, and this Jackal King now has 2 spell counters, but this Jackal King was stolen after its effect got used on my opponent's side of the field, and because of something that I explained at the very beginning of the video, effects that are considered soft once per turns are also cards that affect the physical, effects that affect the physical card. And because of that, the physical card is still the exact same. So if my opponent now, my opponent as in I am the player who plays the Blue Eyes, the Jackalope, and, the stolen Jackalope. If my opponent uses a monster effect, I will actually not be able to use this Jackal King, and you're going to see why soon enough. So my opponent is going to try to, successfully negate my Jackalope. It's gonna work, and I can't do anything about it. I cannot try to negate his Jackal King, but he can use his other Jackal Kings, and exactly just like I said, it is treated as what we call soft once per turns, and it doesn't matter if I am a different player and I'm trying to use the effect that I never used in the first place. So now let's explore something that is completely different while also being very similar. That's a weird paradox, right? Let's get right into it. Alright, do you see something here? My opponent has a Morphage Goliath with Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, and I have Great Old Cobra. Now, just a little bit of context. Back in, I believe, 2019, beginning of 2019, it was a regional at Toronto where essentially a single Great Old monster could almost beat like a full Danger Thunder board because their ending board was Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss that was cheat summoned. It was because of Guard Dragon Agarpain, and they also ended with a Morphage Goliath because they would send that and Archbrave Dragon with Dark Matter Dragon alongside, a couple of Thunder Dragon Colossi. I know that's how you it's kind of like cacti. Anyways, with, Thunder Dragon Colossus on the field, maybe Hieratic Seal, etc. So pretty much Great Old Cobra was devastating against them, because if you would go normal summon and then crash on one of their attack position monsters, you could steal the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, negate their Morphage Goliath or their Colossus, jump over their Colossus, they're pretty much locked under using the extra deck, and they have to face up against a monster that is stronger than every monster they control. So unless they rip like Chaos Dragon Levineer off the top, which even then you can just simply negate, which isn't even an issue, well, they're in for a world of problems. Now, that is the play that I was personally doing. ruling, and people called me out. They said I was a cheater, a liar, everything, because Great Old Cobra simply cannot, work like that, apparently, according to them, because of the fact that a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss would be able to negate Great Old Cobra in, the field, which obviously wouldn't really change anything to Great Old Cobra since it activates in the graveyard, but apparently, according to them, I wouldn't be able to use the effect of the stolen Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss this turn, and because of that, I wasn't able to destroy their Colossus and play like that. I'm going to debunk this. This is 100% incorrect. I was correct all along. And yeah, just when you're not sure, it's fine to be not sure, but just try to seek out the truth and ask questions to judges. I know floor judges can definitely make mistakes too. I believe there was also an occurrence of a head judge making a huge mistake. I believe at YCS Secaucus, New Jersey, 2018, when... Was it a head judge? I don't know, but pretty much a big judge said, oh yeah, if you use Infinite Impermanence on a Gookie, it's actually going to follow it to the graveyard, and they actually won't be able to use the graveyard effect of the Gookie monster to search, which obviously is not true. So yeah, always gotta be on the lookout for these weird rulings. But yeah, I'm going to pretty much explain to you why my Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss that I'm going to steal will be able to use its effect. So I'm going to crash. Obviously, it makes more sense to crash on a monster with less attack. It's kind of weird. You might tunnel vision and be like, oh wait, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss is the monster that I want to steal. That's the monster that I have to crash onto. But Great Old Cobra just allows you to pretty much steal whichever monster your opponent controls. It doesn't matter if that's the one that killed you, so just make sure. And also, if you crash on a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, since it inflicts battle damage to you, they can revive back a tuner in their graveyard, so not that it's gonna change anything, but just watch out. So yeah, crashing on Goliath makes sense, and I can use the effect of a Morphage Goliath, even if my opponent used the effect to negate my Great Old Cobra. And just like I said, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend is considered a hard once per turn, meaning that even if you have 5 copies of a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, you can only use the effect of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss once per turn. That is the way it works, and that is literally the way it is written as well. So when you see you can only use blah 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 of the card name, it affects the actual card. It's no longer the physical card. So even if we're still talking about the physical card when I take control of it, since it affects the player, and myself as the player have never used the effect of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, I am not locked under this condition of I can only use the effect once per turn. I technically never used it, my opponent did, even though it's the same card. So it doesn't work the same way Jackal King is. I just really want you to know that, because if you don't, you definitely could cheat or get cheated on. I mean, I don't even know if the expression cheated on makes sense in Yu-Gi-Oh! I know we're not talking about like girlfriend-boyfriends things, but yeah, anyways, I hope you guys were able to learn a thing or two. Well, preferably 2 things, because I kind of explained 2 things with this video. But yeah, if you guys have any comments or feedback or other questions or whatever, definitely let me know in the comment section below. It's always a pleasure to answer and actually learn, honestly. I learn myself while doing these videos. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm just making these videos for you guys, because obviously that is not true. The main goal, I want to say, is pretty much build like a healthy community that I want to create myself. It's not really, I'm kind of trying to fix a problem within the community, because there's, everyone has their fair share of problem. I am no exception, and of course, step number 1 is working on yourself, and then it's going to reflect changes on other people as well, if I can influence other people in a positive way. So I really hope I was able to, I guess, provide to you guys some positive, I guess, education or insight or good stuff for the year of 2020. 2021 should be significantly better, I hope. I can't wait, honestly, for what's in store, and thank you so much for everything, guys. Like I said, it has been a pleasure, and I will see you very, very, very soon. Take care and peace.